Welcome back to the Hockey Show, and today we are talking about the news of Leon Draisaitl signing his big old fat new paycheck this morning, where we all saw that the news that the greatest German hockey player's name, Leon Draisaitl, is going to stay on the back of those beautiful orange and blue jerseys for at least 8 more years for $14 million. Well, a year. Technically, it is not the biggest contract of all time. It is the highest AAV of all time. But technically, Ovechkin's is with $124 million. But this is going to be the biggest cap-crunching contract of all time signed so far. I'm going to bet in a year we're going to see another one. And then if not, then in 2 years. And that would be unreal. But we'll talk about that at the bottom of this board. But anyways, holy fuck. Let's talk about this. So first of all, is this a good deal, right? I mean, that's what we all here for, right? And that is, whenever a contract is signed, that's the question mark. Is this a good contract? And the Oilers have been through a little bit of a messy time with contracts recently, of course, with Broberg and the, who was the freaking Set Holloway offer sheets a little bit ago. They are obviously in deeper talks with other people at the time to really too much worry about that. But is this a good year? 8 years for $14 million. So what do you get, right? When you get paid money, that's what they're looking at here. This is a resume. What is Leon Draisaitl's resume if we're the hiring managers here? What is going on? So with Leon Draisaitl, it is debated in the hockey community to death where everyone ranks in the top 10 of best players currently and of all time. But right now, I think most people would say number 1 and 2 is a debate between McKinnon and McDavid. And then 3, 4, and 5, I would say most people would say you would throw it in Matthews. I would throw in Draisaitl. Some people say Kucherov. Where do they all rank? Makar's got to be in there, right? Where do they all rank? But regardless of anything, I don't think there is a question in anyone's mind that Draisaitl has to be in that top 5 conversation. And if not, he's top 6. But personally, for me, I think he goes between 3 and 4. Maybe to 5, depending on the year. But so far, he is a consistent top 5 player in the current NHL, where the NHL is so stacked with the best talent we've ever seen, the best talent pool ever in hockey history. And in that era, he has won a Hart, Lindsay, and a Ross, of course, in one season. But he's always up in conversation with his not line mate, but his teammate, Connor McDavid, right? He is up there with those debates all the time. He's a guaranteed 40 to 50 point goal scorer. He's a guaranteed, at least, I would say at this point, 100 point scorer every single season. And he's got 108 points in 74 playoff games, right? So he shows up during the regular season, the postseason. He's helping them get towards their first Stanley Cup ever. Ever. First one in a long time. He is a great, he is the second contributor to this team. If McDavid wasn't on this team, I would say that the same kind of stats would be going along these lines. If he was on another team, if you pick him out and you put him in Utah or something, you don't think guys like Clayton Keller are going to get into the 90s of points because of what Leon Draisaitl can do? You can debate that, and I know that's a big debate. But clearly, Draisaitl is a powerhouse in the NHL. And with that, with the signs of the cap always rising, and we're getting news that next year, what did they say? Next year was going to get to it was going to go up 5 million, maybe it was even 7. I remember I saw the rumor, and it was next year's going to go up 8. It was something crazy, right? So if you imagine this year goes up 8, and then the next year, let's say it even raises 8 again, another $16 million going into the pot. $14 million. I mean, right now the top players we're getting paid 10 to 12. 14 is the new, I would say, 12 million. That's just the way it's going to be. And Leon, he struck while the iron was hot. He gets that big bucks, and this is what he's going to be guaranteed. So, is this a good deal for Leon Draisaitl? Yes, I would say if he was in the supermarket, you were looking at the shelves, this is the price. But is this good for the Edmonton Oilers? Now, this is where things can be heavily debated, and I know everyone will. I know everyone already has and will always debate whether this is a good pairing, whether they're a team like the Maple Leafs with having 4 great players versus a whole team, versus a team like the Oilers where they also only have about 2 or 3 top of the world players with the rest of a pretty middling team. compared to teams like the Panthers or the Golden Knights or the Avalanche or the Lightning or the St. Louis Blues or the Washington Capitals, where you want to have a pretty consistent top 4 defense, top 6 offense with some good depth, and a good goaltender in the back, right? This team has none of that. So, is this good for the Oilers? I would say no, sort of, right? Of course, it is going to be amazing for them going on that they have locked up Leon Draisaitl and most likely Connor McDavid for a long time. And it doesn't hurt to have the two, like the number 1 best player in the world or the number 3 or 4 best player in the world either on your team, where they always are just conquering the NHL. But this team has proven every single year, and I would say this year is a huge fluke for how the Oilers finished in the playoffs, that this is not helping them. Look at a team like the Florida Panthers, right? They don't have these big, like, 56 goal scorers, and, well, I guess they did, but they don't have these ginormous contracts going into one specific player, right? This little bit of cap space that, like, a guy like Matthew Tkachuk gives up, I think he gets paid $9.5 million. Like, you see, like, 9.5 to, like, the 12s that, like, McDavid makes. That $3 million saved, that little bit of cap space goes towards guys like Evan Rodriguez that boost, like, the top 9 to make an ongoing rolling team out on the ice. Or in the Vegas Golden Knights situation, where what year they won it, they have Martinez, Pietrangelo, Whitecloud, Theodore, Haig. You've got so many great defensemen in the back end with some very good top-end talent on the front end and good goaltending striking at the right time. Like, you see all these cases of teams putting together what I always say is God, right? You got to have God to win the Stanley Cup. Goaltending, offense, and defense. This team only leans in to offense. Look at their signings this offseason, right? Victor Arvidsson brought onto this team. Amazing pickup. I think is a very spectacular deal. But do they need more when they already have Hyman and Draisaitl and McDavid and Nugent Hopkins? And now they have Arvidsson, right? And I know I'm forgetting. And they have Adam Henrique. Like, they have amazing offense, right? When I say their offense is probably better than what a team like the Vegas Golden Knights or the Panthers or the Lightning, all these teams that have won the Stanley Cup recently, I would say so. But what about everything else that's part of hockey, right? What about when you're at practice and the other thing that your coach is teaching you is like, sure, this is the offensive zone. We can score all this stuff. What about on this side of things, right? They have Stuart Skinner in net, which is I don't care what you want to say. I will die on this hill, and I've said it for 3 years now, that Stuart Skinner is a unreliable, liable goaltender in net, and he is going to hurt the Oilers or any team that he's on where he's the number 1 starter. Is he okay if he's a backup? I would say Stuart Skinner would be the best backup in the NHL. He is not the number 1 starting goaltender to a Stanley Cup winning team. That is my issue. And they do nothing to try to improve that category. Nothing to improve goaltending, right? Look at who's won it. Vasilevsky, Aiden Hill when he was absolutely unreal. You have Bobrovsky, who should have won the Conn Smythe, not Connor fucking McDavid. NHL. Like, you see these goaltenders that win the Stanley Cup, they are a backbone to what makes the team able to win the Stanley Cup. And I guess if it doesn't matter to the Oilers or to McDavid or Draisaitl or whoever on this team wants to win a Stanley Cup, then I guess it doesn't matter. But that is what we play for in sports, is that top trophy. You don't join like your team, even if you're not good like I was. Like, if you're not playing hockey if you're at least playing to try to go for the greatest achievement, right? You might not be like the very best. You might not be the number 1 player on your team, but you are playing to win the game and to win the Stanley Cup, to do that, right? Or whatever level you're at. Just win that gold medal of your freaking D2 tournament, right? That's what you're playing for. That is what you play for. And the Oilers do just nothing to help any other category that is proven to win the Stanley Cup. So to me, no, this is not a good contract, sort of. Of course, it does help to have the best player, one of the best players in the world, blah, blah, blah. I already said it. But here's the thing. What does this mean for Connor McDavid in 2 years? He's currently in the 7th year of his 8th 8-year deal. So he's 2 years left, and after this season, he can start negotiating a contract extension, right? So in this upcoming season, not this one coming up in a month, but the year after that, supposedly the cap is going to raise like 6, 7, 8 million, something like that. Might have been more. Regardless, it's going to go up that much. And let's say it goes up again. So let's just hypothetically throw out a number of it goes up around $12 million in the next 2 years. Let's say even 15, just to have a good, nice number. Does that mean Connor McDavid in 2 years is going to get paid seriously $20 million? $20 million? He was the one that became that $12 million marker, right? That is who he became to set that new price for the number one player in the world, what they get paid. Does that mean from Draisaitl's 14, he literally is going to get paid like $20 million? 20. That is unreal. Holy God. So that is crazy. $20 million, maybe even more. Let's say it even goes it's huge and it goes up $20 million, extra cap added. Does he get paid 23, 24? Seriously. I think that is a serious thing to wonder what's going to happen. So that is all very interesting discussion I would like to have. But sadly, that's not this video. But anyways, to me, overall, my thoughts on the Leon Draisaitl contract. Is it the right deal for him? Yes. Could you imagine what he could have got paid if you hit the market? A team like Utah or Anaheim that has money to spend? Oh my, he might have gotten $16, $17 million. So that's crazy to me. But overall, to me, this is the right price for Leon Draisaitl. The Oilers, I think it was the right move for them to keep him on this team. He shows up in every category, and that's what you're looking for. And also, it's not assured that Connor McDavid stays on the Oilers. So as long as they can retain at least one of their 1A, 1B players, they've at least secured one of the best players in the world for 8 years. So great move for them. And this is the move they had to make. It's just I wonder what happens now. So that is all I got to say. So thank you for watching this. If you made it this far, please, I am begging you, please subscribe. Please make me smile like this. Until next time, too sweet. I hope you have an amazing day. And ta-ta for now. Subscribe, please.